So recently, and by recently I mean about 3 months ago, on March 15th, 2020, The Intercept released this article titled, TikTok told moderators to suppress posts by, quote, ugly people and the poor to attract new users. The makers of TikTok, the Chinese video sharing app with hundreds of millions of users around the world, instructed moderators to suppress posts created by users deemed too ugly, poor, or disabled for the platform, according to the internal documents obtained by The Intercept. So this article is really interesting, and I want to go through it with you guys because, it's interesting. Today, The Intercept and The Intercept Brazil are publishing 2 internal TikTok moderation documents recreated with only minor retractions below. One lays out bans for ideological, undesirable content in live streams, and another describes algorithmic punishments for unattractive and impoverished users. The documents appear to have been originally drafted in Chinese and later, at times awkwardly, translated into English for use in TikTok's global offices. TikTok spokesperson Josh Gardner told The Intercept that, quote, most of the livestream guidelines reviewed by The Intercept are, quote, either no longer in use or in some cases appear to never have been in place, but would not provide specifics. Regarding the policy of suppressing videos featuring unattractive, disabled, or poor users, Gardner stated that the rules represented an early, blunt attempt at preventing bullying and are no longer in place and were already out of use when The Intercept obtained them. Well, now the question is, what does TikTok consider as unattractive or ugly? Let's take a look. This is the PDF that The Intercept obtained. Let's take a look at this. Abnormal body shape, chubby, have obvious beer belly, obese or too thin, not limited to dwarf acromegaly, ugly facial looks, not limited to disformated face, fangs, lack of front teeth, senior people with too many wrinkles, obvious facial scars or facial deformities, not limited to eye disorders, crooked mouth disease, and other disabilities. And the reason that they gave is, unlike diversified videos of which the content itself is the main focus, in the non-diversified content, the character himself or herself is basically the only focus of the video. Therefore, if the character's appearance or the shooting environment is not good, the video will be much less attractive, not worthying to be recommended to new users. And the way that TikTok would suppress content by people who have beer bellies and are obese and have quote-unquote abnormal body shape is by keeping them out of the algorithm, by not recommending them in the For You section. So the way that TikTok suppressed videos from quote-unquote ugly people, which includes people who are overweight, I'm going to talk about that a little bit more, is by suppressing content from the For You section, that is the recommended section. Essentially, to boil it down, these videos were just not recommended to people. So here's the thing. So TikTok systemically put people who were quote-unquote ugly, which includes people who are overweight, people who have beer bellies, and other people, TikTok systemically put them at a disadvantage. And that matters here. That matters. It's not just... Okay, let me compare the situation to YouTube, for instance. If you've been on YouTube for a while, you would know that before on YouTube there were quite a few animation channels who would make a few minutes of animation and put them on YouTube. But now there aren't really that many animation channels anymore. And it's not because there was no demand for these animation videos. There was. These videos would get tens of millions of views. But because YouTube changed their algorithm to favor watch time more, animation channels were screwed. I remember this guy, oh fuck me, I don't remember his name, but he would get like tens of millions of views per video, per animation video, and because now YouTube has changed the algorithm and essentially doesn't pay him anymore, he has now switched over to make content like this, where he is directly addressing the viewers. There is nothing in like the intrinsic fabric of space-time itself that states that the videos in which people are directly talking to their viewers are somehow better than animation videos. There's nothing that states that. It's the algorithm that prefers it. It's not that these videos were of low quality or that, the videos in which people are directly addressing the viewers are somehow like better than others. There's nothing that states that. It is the algorithm that says that, hey, this is better. And here on TikTok, they are saying that they systemically made sure that people who were obese, people who were overweight, who are quote unquote ugly or have crooked smiles or have wrinkles, were put at a disadvantage and were not favored by the algorithm. That is crazy. That is crazy to me. And I want to compare this to Victoria's Secrets. Girls looked up to Victoria's Secret models and want to be as skinny as them, and that's not healthy. Why did girls looked up to Victoria's Secret models and wanted to be like them and wanted to like starve themselves to be as thin as them? Why? Oh, it was because they saw them everywhere. It's because they saw these models who were clearly very skinny everywhere. And they thought that the people who were overweight were not attractive. And we're not talking about like unhealthy overweight here. We're just talking about just being a little bit chubby. And I feel like that is what is happening here. But instead of hand selecting a bunch of skinny people, here an algorithm selects which people to favor. One moderation document outlining physical features, bodily and environmental, deemed too unattractive spells out linearity of flaws that could be grounds for invisible barring a given clip from the For You section of the app, where TikTok videos are funneled to a vast audience based on secret criteria. Although what it takes to earn a spot on For You section remains a mystery, the document reveals that it took very little to be excluded, all based on the arguments that uploads by unattractive, poor, or otherwise undesirable users could, quote, decrease the short-term new user retention rate, as stated in the document. Under this policy, the TikTok moderators were explicitly told to suppress uploads from users with flaws, both cognitive and inevitable. Abnormal body shape, quote, ugly facial looks, quote, dwarfism, and, quote, obvious beer belly, quote, too many wrinkles, quote, eye disorders, and many other, quote, low-quality traits are all enough to keep uploads out of the algorithmic fire hose. And that's fucked up. That's really fucked up. And I know that these policies are currently not in place, at least, quote-unquote, most of these policies are not in place at the moment. But I still think that this is important because TikTok got away with it. Because most people have no idea. Most people don't know that TikTok actually did this and got away with it. And have they even stopped? We don't really know now, do we? Again, I will leave the whole article in the description down below because I think it's really fascinating. And this is not the first time that TikTok has done something like this. Suppressing content based on some weird characteristics. Yeah, this is not the first time that TikTok has done this. It is unclear how widespread this exclusionary practice has been. Gardner, the TikTok spokesperson, told The Intercept that the policies mentioned appear to be same or similar to those published by a German publication. Oh my god, English words are hard. German words are even harder. I don't know how to pronounce this. Nettespolitik, I believe. In December, in a story about how TikTok was artificially suppressing access to videos created by disabled, overweight, and LGBT users, and represented an effort, quote, at preventing bullying, but are no longer in place and were already out of use when The Intercept obtained them. Again, I'll say it here. I don't really care whether these policies are no longer in place right now because it's fucked up that TikTok did this. And I went through this German article, by the way. It was published December of 2019. So let me read out some of the things from this article as well. Again, the whole article will be linked in the description down below, so you can check it out yourself. TikTok curbed reach for people with disabilities. Leaked documents reveal how TikTok hid videos of people with disabilities. Queer and fat users were also pushed out of the view. The Chinese company says the rules were meant to prevent vulnerable users. And the way that TikTok actually did this is by making sure that the video is only available in the country that the person lives and making sure that the video doesn't reach a worldwide audience. TikTok uses its moderation toolbox to limit the visibility of such users. Moderators were instructed to mark people with disabilities as risk 4. This means that a video is only visible in the country where it was uploaded. For people with an actual or assumed disability, this means instead of reaching a global audience of 1 billion, their videos reached a maximum of 5.5 million. These are the user numbers TikTok currently has in Germany and globally. People with disabilities were kept away from the big stage. For users that were considered particularly vulnerable, TikTok had even further reaching regulations when their video popped up on the screens of the TikTok moderation team in Berlin, Beijing, or Barcelona. After 6,000 to 10,000 views, they were automatically tagged as auto-R. As a result, if these videos exceeded a certain number of views, they were automatically ended up in the quote not recommended category. Such a characterization means that a video no longer appears in the algorithmically compiled For You feed, which the user sees when opening the app. Strictly speaking, such videos are not deleted, but in fact they hardly have an audience. And these were the documents that Netzpolitik obtained. Policy rationale. Bullying has been proven to cause severe emotional and physical distress, especially in minors. Content of subjects likely to incite cyberbullying will be allowed, but marked with risk tag 4. Subject who is susceptible to bullying or harassment based on their physical or mental condition, example, facial disfigurement, autism, Down syndrome, disabled people or people with some facial problems such as birthmark, slight squint, and etc. If it's showing with positive energy and value general plus risk 4, auto R. That means it's not going to be recommended anymore. My question is, how the fuck do you figure out that someone has autism in 10 seconds of a video of that person? Like, what? So TikTok suppressed content by people who have disabilities, autism, people who were too fat, like overweight, from their platform, and nobody knew about it. Yeah, I know that TikTok has said that, yeah, these policies are not in place anymore, but we don't know whether similar policies are in place right now or not. And that's the thing about this. Because let me go back to the Intercept article. So TikTok was not only suppressing this content, but also censoring political speech. Quote, any number of documents rules could be invoked to block discussion of a wide range of topics embarrassing to government authorities. Quote, defamation towards civil servants, political or religious leaders, as well as the families of related leaders, has been under policy punishable by terminated stream and a day-long suspension. Any broadcast deemed by Dance's moderators to be, quote, endangering national security or even, quote, national honor and interest were punishable with a permanent ban, as were, quote, uglification, oh, that's a word, or distortion of local or other countries' history. And here's the important part. Gardner, who was the TikTok spokesperson, Gardner refused to clarify whether the substance and the intent of these restrictions are still in effect under different phrasing. For example, whether there is any current rule whatsoever against, quote, harming national honor or documenting police movements. Quote, like all platforms, we have policies that protect our users and protect national security. For example, banning any accounts that promote hate speech or terrorism, as outlined in our community standards, Gartner wrote in an emailed statement. So at least with the censoring political speech thing, we don't know whether similar policies are in place right now, because literally the spokesperson for TikTok didn't clarify it. We don't know whether such policies are in place right now or not. And we don't know whether similar policies that suppress content by, quote, disabled people, by people who have autism based on like 10 seconds of a clip of someone, and based on how fat that person is, based on whether they have a beer belly or not. We don't know whether such policies are in place or not. It might be just a different phrasing, but we don't know. So yeah, I mean, it would be great if these policies are not in place right now, that would be great. But honestly, the fact that TikTok even did this and nobody knows about it, that's not good. So yeah, that's the reason why I decided to make this video in the end. I was about to make this video like 2 months ago, and I just didn't do it because I got caught up in other things, so I just didn't make this video. But now I have, because I was actually deleting some of the archived things that I have on my hard drive, and I saw that, hey, I have this video idea that I wanted to make. And I was like, that's actually a great video idea. I should make it. So yeah, that was this video. Like this video if you liked it. Comment your thoughts down below about what you think. Subscribe for more videos. And yeah, please wear a mask when you go outside. And do not touch your face.